Welcome back, guys. This is Automotive Anonymous. That's the all-new 2024 Subaru Impreza RS, which is the rally sport, baby. That means it's the highest trim level currently offered for this model year. And we're going to review it today, so we're going to do a walk around, go through the specs, initial driving impressions, 0 to 60 with the GPS, and then final thoughts to decide what to do with it. Do you leave it at the lot? Do you buy it? Do you consider the competition? We're going to find out what you should do today. And big thanks to the Twin Falls Subaru for letting me borrow it for the day. I'll link it below if you're interested. Otherwise, we're going to decide if this 6th gen hatchback only offered Impreza is a good one. Over the years, since the 1st gen came out in '92, the Impreza has been offered as a 2-door coupe all the way to a wagon similar to this. So it's had a lot of different iterations. It even used to be the platform for the WRX and the STI. But now that we have the RS badge again, let's see what that has to offer. So we're going to dive right in. If you're considering the RS, you should know that a base model starts at about $28,000, but after all the goodies and destination, this one in the color I like to call silver is closer to $31,000. There's quite a few changes from the 5th gen to the 6th gen, but you will notice it is one of the only current Subaru models that doesn't have extra black plastic cladding around any of the fenders. Otherwise, it lost the manual, the CD player, and physical buttons. In return, it gained the 11.6-inch touchscreen, a quieter ride, and stiffer suspension, which is more sports tuned. So there are some trade-offs when you're getting the RS. In addition to the bigger boxer engine, it has 182 horsepower, 2.5 liter, compared to the 152 horsepower 2 liter, but you'll see under the hood in just a few minutes. Subaru of North America sells 30 to 70,000 of these every year. They're assembled in Japan, and then the 5th gen was a 5-star crash test rating. We can assume that this will be the same, but it's not yet rated. A few other standard goodies you get on the Impreza are these really bright LED headlights that I recommend. You even get LED fog lights on this one. And then you also get the 16.6 gallon gas tank that's out of the Crosstrek. You're no longer limited to the 13.2 on the previous gen. So when you have the bigger engine like this and you're only getting 33 highway, you're still going to be road tripping for about 550 miles between Phillips. These are roughly 5.8 feet wide, 4.8 feet tall. They're about 14.5 feet long, and then the wheelbase is just under 9 feet. They weigh 3,300 pounds. They have 5.1 inches of ground clearance with the global 3.7 final drive ratio, which means it's a pretty good balance of putting down torque, but also getting pretty decent MPG. And then the payload of this is actually quite impressive. It's up to about 1,500 to 1,600 pounds, depending on how it's configured. That means you can carry a lot of stuff in the vehicle or on the roof. If you like this video so far, don't forget to like this video. It really shows a lot of support and helps the channel grow. I'm not always Subaru's biggest fan of their wheel choice, but these black 18-inchers, they look pretty good. It's wrapped in a 225, 40, 18. And then you have the proximity key, so you can pay for the My Subaru app, start the car remotely from anywhere in the world, and leave that thing in your pocket, because you can lock and unlock with just the touch of your finger. The door panel looks very Subaru. There's a few different materials, but they're all soft touch, pretty visually appealing, and you still have that red stitching from their deal with Michaels. Nice big handle, Harman Kardon speaker, bottle holder, and a small door pocket. I think we all need to email Subaru of America and have them tell those engineers to give us a bigger door panel. What gives, guys? No baby size Subaru even on the door sill. I think they could have included that. Rubberized mats, aluminum pedals, fuse box, lighting controls, nothing else though, even on this RS model. And then your lighting stock on the left, really nice, red accented seats, and then a moonroof up top. Sitting inside the RS though, it does actually feel a lot more updated than the last generation. I did a few reviews of those. Push button start. The needles do their dance, the Subaru emblem in the center, and you can go through your center display with that toggle switch. You'll notice a little bit of an RS badge in the speedometer, which is kind of fun. The horn sounds decent. Kind of loud for what it is. Otherwise, everything's right where it needs to be. It's pretty comfortable. There's that big 11.6-inch screen. You're going to have to turn off auto start stop every time if you want. But it does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which is a nice feature. Also, it has an updated wireless charger. You can turn that off there if you don't want to use it. And then, going into reverse, the camera is okay. It only takes up about half of the screen, not even. Trajectory lines do move with it though. And then it has the 8-speed simulated CVT, so you can play with the paddles if you want. Electronic parking brake, heated seats, a 12-volt, cup holders, and then nothing in the center console. And it's kind of funny that they left the CD holder, which is no longer offered. But Subaru has to cut the cost somewhere and reuse parts, I guess. Regular, non-dimming, non-home link setup, rear view mirror, and then our controls for that moonroof. But you know what? Let's turn it off. Let's hop in the back seat. The back door panel follows a pretty similar theme on the Impreza. Nothing too surprising there, and you still get the red stitching even if you're a backseat occupant. And then the back seat gets a little bit on the door sill, but not the front seat. That's kind of interesting. It's a little bit of grip, mountain layout if you need to step on there, if you had roof rails or anything up top to get to. Otherwise, the 60-40 split bench looks really good. They're easy to drop. Subaru seats are comfortable. They're pretty lightweight if you can see that. And then sitting behind myself at 5'11", it's actually pretty comfortable. I probably have 3 inches or so in front of my knees, all other mats, a couple plugins, and we actually have center armrests with some cup holders on this new 6th generation. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice view from the back seat. My head does not touch the ceiling. You'll notice there is a cutout in the roof. It's raised a few inches, which is a really nice feature. Thank you, Subaru. The rear of the new Impreza looks pretty good, pretty aggressive, especially with those LED upgraded taillights, the RS badging, and that ice silver metallic paint that I'm biased to, because that's what I chose on my own personal Outback Wilderness. Something else cool back here is you finally have the PIN code, so you can get in and out of this vehicle without having the keys on you. But when you do have the keys on you, you can just push the button to unlock the rear. It's not power lifted, you have to do that yourself. The shocks help quite a bit though. And then you have about 20 cubic feet back here with the seats up. You have about 55 if you fold them down. And then you have some lighting, some tie downs, a dog bowl, all other mats. You can sell your RS carpeted mats to your non-RS friend if you want. And then because it's an 18-inch tire wheel setup, no spare, just a fix-a-flat with some tools and some storage. What are you gonna hide down here? Comment below, I wanna know. The rear passenger side is where you're gonna put that designated backseat driver, because that's the map pocket right there, baby. Otherwise, the door panel looks identical, nothing to really talk about. You still have the same traction mountainous design on the door sill. And then on the lateral bolstering of the seat, you still got the red theme. Seats drop and go back up nice and easily. They lay basically flat, as you can see there. Proximity key to lock and unlock. And the passenger door panel looks really good, basically the same as the driver. Minus some of those extra controls, you back to being advertised with Harman Kardon speakers, bottle holder, some snacks. You'll notice the blind spot monitoring, and there's a turn signal on the outside of the mirror. Otherwise, nothing on the door sill, just some Impreza mats. I do wish they were RS, and you don't have any power options on the passenger seat, but our backpack's held in place, looking really good. I do wish we had a stamped in RS badge on the seat, but we're not offered that at this time. Non-locking glove box, it's kind of small, but so is the classic car that this is, so it's what you expect. Finally, time to go around front, pop the hood, and see what the 2.5 liter Boxster looks like. And there you have it, there's the 2.5 liter Boxster. That makes a whopping 182 horse, 178 pound-feet of torque. But if you don't have the RS model, you have the 2 liter carryover Boxster. That makes 152 horse, 145 pound-feet of torque instead. Subaru engineers do fantastic designing the engine bay. Air goes through the grille, through the box and the filter, through the baffling, to the throttle body, to the upper intake manifold, and then into the cylinders. You can see where the block is split down there. You can even read the numbers. And then the serpentine belt, which is probably the easiest one in the world to change on a modern car, is literally right there, but it's protected by this cover so that you don't lose your fingers in the engine bay, because you don't want to be looking for some burnt up toasty fingers. Oil dipstick, alternator, oil filter, oil fill, all of your reservoirs, and the battery. Not bad, Subaru. It's easy to work on, it's easy to do things other than maybe change the spark plugs. You could outsource that job if you want. Otherwise, let's drop the hood. And we're finally gonna teleport to the road, see how fast it is, see how well it handles, and just how much fun the rally sport really is. Initial driving impressions of this new generation Impreza are that it's really good. Visibility is of course fantastic, as it's basically the carryover to the last generation. The mirrors do a fantastic job to see right through the cabin, right down the sides to see what's in your blind spot, but it does have blind spot monitoring and a lot of other safety features with all the adaptive eyesight cruise control settings. It does feel a little bit sportier than I remember previous models being. It is a little bit quieter than I remember, but it's also not as windy today as some other days that I've tested. But you weigh 3,300 pounds, you have almost a 9-foot wheelbase, 5 inches of ground clearance, and all-wheel drive that's confidence inspiring. So just going down a country road, it feels really good, really capable. You have a lot of room to carry your stuff, to bring your people your pets, whatever you have going on. It's just a really good layout, really good vehicle. When I quit talking, it's fairly quiet in here. The Boxer does a pretty good job in this setup where it doesn't weigh as much as some of the other 2.5 liter Boxer models. In fact, this is the lightest one, so it does pretty good. The CVT feels better than previous year CVTs, but I do think that the newer year, the better they feel in general. I do wish we had the physical buttons though on the display, on the infotainment setup. That's something I don't like as much about this new generation. I miss the CD player. If you're gonna tease us with a CD player storage, you better give us a CD player. Maybe someday that'll pop up in the center console like it has on some of the other higher models of Subaru, but right now it doesn't. Everything else though, it's right where you want it to be. It's appealing to look at, it's comfortable, the seats feel great, the bolstering's not very aggressive, so don't go around a corner too fast thinking this is, you know, something other than what it is, which is still a base Impreza that has a few extra goodies on it. But it looks good, our backpack's having a great time. And when you have to get up to speed, we are at about a mile above sea level today, density altitude equivalent, so the vehicle is down in power quite a bit, but it does feel stronger than any other Impreza that I have ever driven that's non-turboed. With that said, let's get to our final thoughts. But before we do that, we gotta get to our private road and do a 0 to 60. 0 to 60, we are at about a mile above sea level, 5,200 feet of density altitude, so this vehicle is down in power about 15 to 19%. Traction is off. We're in sport mode. We're gonna brake grab the CVT and then I'll verbalize the true 0 to 60 afterwards. The bottom left of the graph shows without the foot of rollout. Let's see what it can do. Well, that's the fastest I've ever been in an Impreza. True 0 to 60 came in at 8.64, which, knowing that we're about a mile above sea level, it's really not too bad. Let's cut to our final thoughts. My final thoughts of the Rally Sport Impreza, which is all new for 2024, is it's a pretty cool car. I think it's a really good update. Not a whole lot has changed, but they have added some better features such as the quietness of the interior, the brightness of the headlights, and the performance of that new engine. Again, I wish they had the 2.4 liter naturally aspirated Boxer, but we'll take what we can get. We're still getting over 30 miles per gallon on the highway. We have a bigger gas tank, so it makes up for the range deficit you would otherwise have. And it looks pretty good. It looks pretty aggressive with the all black and silver theme. That's basically one of my favorite color combos in cars. I like it. You don't lose any of the Subaru reliability, the Subaru capability. So tell me guys, what are your thoughts? Would you buy one? Would you consider one? Or are you gonna leave it at the lot and check out the competition? I wanna know. And if you like this video, please consider liking this video. Subscribe if you wanna watch more. I usually post a few videos a week. And take care, have a wonderful rest of your day.